The best piece of advice I have for someone trying to succeed in the film industry or any creative space is if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing it wrong.
One of the best to ever do it.
What is freedom? I think I stole this from Bob Dylan, but maybe I stole this from Woody Guthrie. Freedom for me is waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night, and in between doing exactly what I want to do. What's the secret to happiness? The secret to happiness is finding something you love and then doing that for the rest of your life.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thank you for joining me. Now, here in a minute, we're going to get to reviewing one of your websites, and I do want to point out that while this has been pre-recorded, I'm hanging out in the chat, interacting with you guys live and answering your questions. Now, if you're interested in having your website reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your site. And in addition to getting a site review, I also offer a one-on-one session to each photographer who has had a site review done to help them answer any questions or assist in making any changes that they may want to make. Now, don't forget, we also live stream every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so I hope to see you there. Let's get into the site review.
Hi guys, this is Katie bringing you another Zenfolio live site review for Site Review Tuesday. I hope that I find you well, and I just want to remind everyone that this review has been pre-recorded, but we'll be hanging out with you guys in chat, so please don't hesitate to chat in if you have any comments or ideas or questions as we go along with the site review. So today we're going to be looking at Graham Service. That's grahamservice.com, Life in a Northern Town, photography by Graham Service. So I just want to thank Graham for submitting his site for our review, and thank you guys for joining us in chat. So first off, looking here at Graham's homepage, the first thing I noticed was slightly inconsistent branding, just that we're going to grahamservice.com, obviously photography by Graham Service. Not sure that Life in a Northern Town is as consistent of a brand, since we're seeing these watermarks applied on the homepage for Graham Service. So just something to consider. If you're married to Life in a Northern Town, it's not a major problem, just a little inconsistency. So that would have been the first thing that I noticed, or one of the first things I noticed. Another thing that I noticed here on the homepage is that we're looking at a nice clean layout, and that we've got some accessible info here on the homepage. If we scroll down, not only do we get a nice welcome message, but we can immediately see where Graham is located and have a better idea of whether or not I, as a potential client, would be able to seek out Graham's services based on where I am. Also, these helpful social media links here are really nice to see in case visitors would like to follow Graham on Instagram or take a look at his Facebook page. So I really like all of those things about Graham's homepage. I also like that Graham is using the homepage grid layout to link groups with cover thumbnails. immediately gives a visitor an idea of the kinds of photography that Graham is doing. And also some really lovely images selected here for the cover thumbnails. Usually, I like to recommend not using watermarked images on a homepage. Since it's fairly consistent, it's not a deal breaker for me. But since the CrossFit cover thumbnail doesn't also include that watermark, that's something that you might want to consider when selecting cover thumbnails, just for the sake of consistency. So I definitely also like that Graham is using the welcome message feature to immediately put forth his philosophy of the work. And again, really great use of including that contact information right there on the home page. So let's go in here to the site menu. Again, easily navigable. So we'll go here under Photos to Motorsports. I really love the presentation of this group page. Everything is very consistent, including even the framing of the images selected for the cover thumbnails of these groups and galleries contained here. I also think that the breadcrumbs are pretty helpful, especially because as we start to navigate into these photo galleries, and I noticed too that under photos, these are not necessarily portfolio galleries. So in a lot of sites that are using portfolio galleries, I have to remind our Zenfolio users that it's best to call down your images so that you're really only using the most relevant images. But it looks like Graham is making a little bit more comprehensive presentation of his galleries. So they're not necessarily portfolio galleries. That's not going to be as important of an issue. But as I was saying about the breadcrumbs, it's pretty useful that Graham has those active on his pages, because we can go a ways in and still be able to find our way back in most cases. However, as you can see here, not quite so consistent here. So if you're using those breadcrumbs so that clients can easily get in and out of where they are on your site without having to click the back button, that's something you might want to consider, either enabling breadcrumbs sort of across the board or disabling those and relying on your clients to be able to find their way back. But I did also want to note that these images are really phenomenal. I mean, not that I'm the most educated car enthusiast, but these are some really great looking machines, and the framing and execution of these photos is really beautiful. So I'd encourage everyone to check out grahamservice.com. If you're an auto enthusiast, it looks like Graham is having a lot of fun, and I hope that he gets an opportunity to take a ride in some of these vehicles. It's very cool. So we'll go in here to motorbikes. Again, using these grid layouts and assigning really lovely cover photos here. Looks like Graham has his work cut out for him. Graham, do you take a day off? So we've got some really lovely looking galleries. If I click on the images in these galleries, I'm taken to the quick shop view, which makes it super easy for your clients and visitors to purchase your prints and downloads. So I really love the presentation of these quick shop pages. Very clean look, consistent branding from the home page. So also nice to have that favorites feature enabled there. And then of course we can go back to our gallery, take a look at more of these excellent photos. So I like the consistency between the motorsports and motorbikes. Check out these rugby pics. Very cool. Looks like these are organized by date, so easy for visitors and clients to find. Really love that Graham is using his skills as a sports photographer, both in the auto realm and the human realm. Really great looking photos. One thing I did notice as I was going through these galleries is that there's the album design service enabled. So for Zenfolio users that signed up before a certain time, this would have been auto-enabled in your account. This can be disabled if you don't want clients to be able to work with the album design service. You can disable that if you don't want that button showing under selling, and then the main screen, you'll see the photo albums option, and that can be disabled there. But if you do want your clients to be able to select images and work with a designer on a custom book, that's a really great feature to include there. And makes it super easy the way Graham has laid out his galleries to be able to select multiple images in the galleries and go ahead and add those to favorites, which is a really nice feature when communicating with clients. Similar content here in the CrossFit galleries. And from that site menu item, looks like these are also more or less organized by date, but it could maybe help to make the titling of these groups and galleries a little more consistent, in case that could be helpful to clients. More awesome photos from Graham. And again, consistent layouts makes it super easy to navigate around the site. Recent events galleries. You know, I actually really like that Graham is featuring these recent events galleries here, because it's then really easy for clients to go, is Graham still working? Looks like Graham is still working as of September 9th, and that his work has been consistently awesome. So, great use of that. In the site menu, I also love when photographers have not only really excellent client work, but also feature things like their landscape photography that Graham has done here. Some really beautiful photos in here. So, looks like Graham does maybe take some days off. Really beautiful landscapes in here, including these awesome sheep. I'm such a huge fan of sheep, so they're so cute. Maybe not entirely relevant to the site review, but in case you were wondering, I do love sheep a whole lot. So really lovely images here in the landscapes. So we'll go on here to the client area. And it looks like for Graham's clients, he has used the client area site menu item to lead visitors to his client galleries group, which is a perfectly acceptable way of delivering galleries to clients. But just in case you were curious about using it, we do also offer the client access feature, which allows clients to arrive at a landing page where they enter a client access code. So I'd love to know everybody's thoughts in chat. So do you like having all of your client galleries organized in a group page, or do you use the client access feature in your own site? Pros and cons, thoughts about either or? Would love to know what you guys think of those features in chat and how you like to make your images available to your clients. So let's go here under About. Let's find out a little bit more about Graham. I would also love if this is Graham. I would love to know if this is Graham here. Because that would be awesome. Some really great information about Graham, the kinds of photography that he does. Looks like he also does some children's photography that is super beautiful. Love that he's including an artist statement here on this page and featuring some photographs that are typical of the kinds of work that he does. And it also looks that Graham is using a custom page for his About page. With your Zenfolio site, you do get a built-in About page. One major drawback of the built-in About page is that it will only allow you to use a single image, your About image. But it looks like Graham has used our custom pages feature to not only include more than a single image, but also to be able to set these images to link and open up a larger view of the images on the About page. So that's really great really great use of the custom pages feature to make more information about himself available to his clients. So we've gone here under About to Event Photography to find out a little bit more about Graham's workflow, how he likes to make images available to clients, and a little bit more about his services and about his event photography. I also love that he's included a link here. So client comes to the site, wants to know more about his event photography, can then immediately find out some more information about his photography, and then go straight to the contact page before they can have a second thought about it. So great use of, again, custom pages to make this info available about his event photography. We'll go here to his blog. And it looks like this blog has lots of great info, but it's not necessarily constant, consistent but not constant, not a deal breaker. Useful to know the dates. So sometimes if a blog is not constantly or consistently updated, I recommend that users disable that feature to display the date. However, because Graham is mentioning specific dates and covering specific races and rallies, I don't see a problem with maintaining the dates on this, just in case that can be useful to someone who's wanting to know a little bit more about the story behind the images. So not a deal breaker for me, and I think that Graham works well and good and hard enough not to have to constantly be updating his blog. Obviously, he's still very active, which is obvious from the client area and some of these other galleries here under photos. So still great use of the blog feature to feature a little bit more information, tell a little bit more about the story, and it looks like I need to update my Flash player in my browser. So that's something to consider when you are embedding content in custom pages and blog pages. Flash is necessary, so So just something to consider, that maybe not all of the visitors would, like me, have an outdated Flash plugin, but let's go on here to contact so that I can stop embarrassing myself with my outdated Flash plugin. So straightforward built-in contact page here, reminiscent of the kinds of contact information that were available on Graham's homepage, but it does the job. Your clients can really easily get in touch, and that's really what's wanted with that contact page. They can see where you are and have a better idea of whether or not they'd be able to hire you as a potential client, or to be able to contact you straight from that page. So just a quick overview as we head toward the end of our live site review. Also, I just want to thank everyone again for joining us for Site Review Tuesday. So life in a northern town with Graham's service looks like it's pretty exciting. In case you're interested in fast cars or motorcycles, if you're interested in sports, Graham has some really active and kinetic and exciting images here, right here from the home page. And in case I know that I want to find out a little bit more information about Graham, I have this great drop-down menu here, not just about the photographer, but if I'm interested in looking at hiring him for some event photography, it's really easy to get to. Finding out more stories behind the images, I can go there to the blog. If I'm a client, I can go right here to the client area and find my gallery. So a really great, efficient, effective Zenfolio site with just a few edits could be perfect. So thank you guys for joining me.
Hey, thank you guys so much for watching that site review. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you get notified when we post videos and when we go live. Now, if you're interested in having your site reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your website for that. And in addition to getting a site review, you're also going to get a link where you can schedule a session with me. We're going to go over your website, go over the review. I'll answer any questions that you have and help you make any changes that you're interested in making. So the link to sign up for that is in the description below this video. Now, don't forget Zenfolio Live coming up this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there. Until then, I hope you have a great week.